ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Keys Book Webcamera blog. It's me, your host, John Alani Remus IV. Today, I'd like to talk about things that mean a lot to me in terms of the terms that I use and the things that I desire, specifically a woman and so on and so forth. And being royal and what I focus on and some other thoughts. So, when the queen died or king in old times, a lot of people mourned their passing. But let us be our own princes or princesses, or if united with our soulmates, kings or queens. And it is more important to celebrate ourselves than a celebrity or president or some other royal family. And so it's all about who you focus attention on, and what's like, how do you be most happy? I think it's the most natural thing is in heaven on earth, just being happy. And what makes me happy is my sexuality. So, what do I put effort into? uh, Hold on. My destiny is to feel good and make love to my soulmate. Yeah. Okay. I encourage you to use these, write down notes, uh, and do your own blogs so you can, you know, process and share information so you can adapt and evolve quickly. Uh, you see, I want to orally pleasure my soulmate, even when she is of old age. And I know she won't always be able to have intercourse, but I care about her so much. I don't even know exactly who she is, but the point is that I want to make her feel good, and my way of showing that, not just saying it and creating the thought space or realm, but also uh, self-pleasuring myself and creating that realm where I'm making it part of my life. Uh, you may think this is like really personal, but I think it's natural, and I think it's for all of us to share with each other, uh, you know, what matters. And it's the interesting thing is I had to discover it. No one told me about the significance of masturbation. Certainly not the Bible or Christianity. Um, so if I pass away, don't grieve, because all that matters is your soulmate. And that's why when my soulmate dies, if I'm still alive, I'm going to commit suicide humanely. And I am to celebrate her and not others. Pay attention to her. Kind of like children pay attention to toys. Um, Alright, some other thoughts. Watch out for angry speaking people. Ask them to leave you alone until they have a calm voice, and talk to try having somebody else in the situation to help you deal with it. Um, and try and take responsibility for if you're in a bad mood, it's your fault. uh, the instant I get really upset at someone, I ask, how how can I make you feel better, or is there anything I can do to make you feel better to the person? Often they might say, leave them alone. Um, let's see. When someone is mad, um, maybe offer them food and say, I hope you feel better. And regardless of their response, just do your part to share. Um, I think bad feelings and enemies are from different sources. For example, a bad feeling could be a result of lack of breathing or exercise. It could be lack of sleep, lack of good dieting or hydration, or it could be because you're not clearing something in your subconscious. There could be a person you talk to who's keeping you in a thought realm and programming your mind to something that you don't like. So it's creating like a cognitive dissonance in your life. You don't understand why something bad's happening. Um, but it also might be because you've consumed uh, a food product like an unhappy cow, their meat or dairy or eggs, um, that, or maybe even you're using a um, you're wearing a shirt that was made in a factory. Um, do some light work on it. Clear the energy. Um, Also, I think enemies. Uh, there are different types of enemies. One is the shapeshifter that can kind of possess people. I made a video on that, the aliens video. Another is bad feelings is um, just people who are you think that they're bad, but they're just different, and you're treating them like friends or family, and not treating them as professional, like somebody you're like, for instance, um, let's say somebody who I thought was my friend, but they really don't, or brother, and they don't have the same beliefs as I am, but I think of them as a brother. I might get more easily upset as if I just think of them as a person who I could do business with, or just am coexisting on this planet with. Um, Enemies could be people that you haven't acknowledged or ignored. Um, and maybe you're like in a place but not recognizing the native culture, and so it's like you're a visitor. Um, maybe you're not recognizing the authority. Maybe you're like cleaning a table, or talking in it loudly, but you haven't checked with the authority that's there. Let's see, any other thoughts? Enemies. Um, I used to think maybe some of my enemies were politicians, but I've seen pictures of them with like their families and realized that, different people have different sides to them and different forms of intelligence and different levels of good and bad. And so ultimately, Like, are my enemies meat eaters, non-vegetarians? Well, I don't want to hurt people for hurting animals. You know what I mean? Like, humans are my number one priority. They're my fellow man, and so as a vegetarian, I want to try and be nice to them and show them, what it's like to be a vegetarian. You can, have less of that meat adrenaline in your body, and you learn to just be happier. Like, you know, just something to try out. You gotta try it for yourself. You know, who are my allies gonna be? Another thought is, if you remove factors that create mental illness, uh, maybe it will go away. And to finish it off, if you're not in a position to be charitable, just or give what you might want to, just visualize people smiling. Use your mind as a tool, and use your mind. The mind, you can think of many different things with it. And I think that's the number one religious practice, what you think of. Because your thoughts occupy more time than, for instance, if you went to church for a few hours a week. Your thoughts are what you can use to really create and define your reality. And you can even do it when you're at working, especially if you just have repetitive labor tasks. Just move from person to person in your head, visualize them smiling, visualize them beaming bright beams of white light like through their legs, and they hold orbs of bright white light. In fact, to finish this video, we're going to do a cool visualization. Alright, so I want you to stand up and take your hand like this and beam it towards your body, imagining a brilliant beam of bright white light, and beam like around your room, visualizing the beams of white light kind of coming, just one coming through the room, like beam through your head. Uh, and just breathe and work smoothly. Have a lifetime of peace for yourself. And now see somebody in your mind that you're angry at, and realize that they want just as much as you to be happy. And they're using everything they know. For instance, if they don't know or are not in a position to employ some of the spiritual rituals and strategies that I suggest, or that you might agree with that you use too, they're just in a different position. Um, so, so see that person smiling in your head. Now see them beaming lots of people around them, like imagine you're in a store or in public, and you just beam like a 360 perimeter, and just like you're shining a brilliant concentrated white light laser beam of a flashlight on every single person around you, and they kind of grab the bright ball of white light, and they smile. And like imagine you're like really big and tall, like angelic or supernatural, and you're just kind of seeing everything from a different perspective. Um, Imagine that. Maybe that's a little bit like what heaven's like. Heaven on earth. Come on, prince. Come on, princess. Let's do this. Let's find our soulmates.